Hey y'all, it's Terry from Sisterhood of the Traveling Brush, and we're working on wet distressing today. I have cleaned this with Dixie Belle White Lightning, rinsed it off and let it dry. This is an old cabinet door that we cut into thirds so that I could do 3 of these panels, and we're going to do this one with Dixie Belle Pure Ocean and Reclaimed Barn. I'm putting a base coat of Pure Ocean. I'm just using the Dixie Belle Mini to get that on. Trying to get my brush strokes pretty straight. If you don't rinse off the White Lightning really well, then you may have some adhesion problems because it is going to leave a little bit of an oily residue. You don't have to, it's always important to clean your piece, and these were at one point somebody's cabinet doors, so there's a very good likelihood that there would be grease and oil and things like that caked in, baked in, and been here a long time. I'm going to let this coat completely dry. Dixie Belle is a chalk and mineral paint, so when you hear about chalk paints and things like that, not having to have a primer and all that kind of stuff, it's the Dixie Belle paint that they're talking about, or that type of paint that they're talking about. Of course, there's many brands. This just happens to be my favorite brand. And it has an acrylic base, so you don't have to top coat it if you don't want to, but you can if you want. That's going to give you some extra protection. I mean, this is going to cure in about 30 days to a very hard, solid finish, and you can leave it alone like that, or you can put, any kind of top coat on it. They have a satin top coat or a flat or gator hide, which is what I would put if I was doing this to really be a cabinet again. Or you can do all the waxes and all the decorative finishes, anything like that you want to, but it's not required. We're going to let this dry, and then we're going to put on the Reclaimed Barn. Our coat of Dixie Belle Pure Ocean is dry. We're now going to put Reclaimed Barn, also by Dixie Belle, on just half of it, because we're going to do this in 2 different examples of wet distressing. So we need one to be dry and one to be wet. Isn't that pretty together? I never used to like red very much at all, and I must be getting old because I'm becoming a fan. You can put as many coats on here as you would like for this example or the sample board. I'm just going to put a couple. You could put, if this was going to be a final board, you could put a couple of coats of the red on here. If you were going to mechanically sand with your sander, you could put a couple of coats. But with wet distressing like we're going to do there tomorrow, we'll have to be at the part where we only put 1 coat. And with a distressed look, it's okay to be able to see a little bit of the other color underneath. So now we'll let this dry till morning. This is a board that I've already painted in Dixie Belle Pure Ocean all the way across, and then I put a coat of Reclaimed Barn red over the top of that, and this is still wet. You can't tell if you can tell that. Just a line in the middle to keep me on track while I'm doing this. So I'm going to Dixie Belle paint. This is a chalk and mineral paint that has an acrylic base. So this is what the difference in what we've painted already and we're about to paint. I didn't have any tape. I wanted to use tape right there, so I'm not going to worry a whole lot about that. I just have to do one of these videos in my group in a minute, and I wanted to still have some board left. So we're putting this on here. With Dixie Belle and most of the chalky style paints or chalk paints, whatever you want to call it, there's a company that owns that phrase, is why we don't say it, but the chalk and mineral based paints, they have a bit of a sealer built in, so you don't have to put a sealer on top, which means this is going to cure after about 30 days without any kind of top coat on it and be solid as a rock. You can use anything at this point. A baby wipe, and I don't have a baby wipe here with me. You can wet a paper towel. You could, depending on how much you were wanting to distress it, you could use one of these kitchen scrubbies or this finishing pad or an applicator pad. I'm using a wet washcloth, and I'm going to fold it up a little bit. And we would start distressing almost right away. Maybe give it 1 or 2 minutes. And while that's sitting 1 or 2 minutes, I'll show you this. There's not much I can do here with this paint. This is already dried. I could possibly, if I was using, it is taking a tad off. If I was using the scrubby thing and putting it in the water and wetting and wetting and wetting, you can see that I could get a little bit of distressing through there, just a little bit. But because this wasn't cured yet, it was just dry, very dry to the touch. It was last night when I did that. But while it's still wet, we can rub back and distress as thinly or as thickly as we want over the piece. See, if I was wanting to maybe distress a little through the grooves there, I could do that with, if I had a baby wipe here, that would be so much easier to do a smaller area. But I don't, but you can see how doing it this way is going to roughen it up a little bit more than doing it with the rag. This went all the way through, using the scrubby like we have here, went all the way through to the original board, even taking our pure ocean off, to where using just the wet rag only went down to the first color underneath. So that is how you wet distress Dixie Belle paint. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Dixie Belle products, just look on my website, sisterhoodofthetravelingbrush.com, and you can order from there or message me and I will ship it right out to you. Thanks for watching. Hope that helped.